where the Warriors destroyed the LA Lakers 123-109. And look, we were discussing at about 6:30. Is this the deepest team Steve Kerr has had? Now, Joe Lacob brought it up. Steve Kerr brought it up saying, like, look, we are deep. And it reminds him of the 2014-15 season, but the bench is just so much younger than that bench in 2014-15. Remember, you had Leandro Barbosa, been in the league for a number of years.
Mm-hmm.
Sean Livingston, been in the league for a number of years. Maurice Spates. Now you have Festus Ezeli, who was a youngster coming out of Vanderbilt. But this core, this bench, where they destroyed the Lakers bench, Jordan Poole, 23 years old. Wiseman, 21 years old. Moody, 20. Kuminga, 20. DiVincenzo is still pretty young, considering he's been in the league for a few years now, coming over from Milwaukee and, of course, Sacramento. So, deepest team that Steve Kerr has had, it's an embarrassment of riches. I do think this is the deepest team he's had.
I do, but you got to let it play itself out. Stuff can happen. Some of the young players could not be as good as we think 5 years from now. You know what I'm saying? Like, and we look back on this in a different way.
Right.
But yes, they have potential to be the deepest team, top to bottom. The other thing that Lacob said to you guys on set that I thought was the most profound thing that he said: it's unacceptable not to field a playoff team every couple of years.
He said every year.
Oh, was it every year?
He was
I thought
every
it was a couple years.
He was every year because we were talking about the tax bill.
Yeah.
He goes, look, man, it costs money to win. I want to win, so I'm going to back my dollars up to try to win.
Because it sounded like he made an acknowledgement of, like, stuff can happen where, your team cycles out or whatever,
Right.
but, like, the Bay Area deserves opportunities to win as much as possible. And the way that he was talking about that, I'm just saying to myself, I'm like, look, I know Steph Curry's everything. I'm not here to say that he isn't. But I look at the will of Joe Lacob, and I'm saying, my God, he's saying everything I want to hear from my owner.
And you know what's funny is that Joe Lacob, what is he worth? Like, I heard somebody say, like,
I wouldn't even know where to begin.
Somebody said a couple billion, right? And you got Steve Ballmer down in L.A. worth $70 to $75 billion. Yet Lacob is spending like he has Ballmer money. And he's saying, look, as long as we're winning, I got no problem paying the tax bill. We got a cash cow and Chase Center, which is helping us fund this team and pay that tax bill. We have concerts galore. Look at Thrive City. Look behind me. I've got everything going on here.
Thrive City. When TNT, I know you guys have the set, but TNT's out. Out
right
and
there
about.
Next to us.
Just seeing everyone flow out is just incredible. I know you have it for all your post-game shows. Me as the viewer on my couch, I feel like I want to be there and I want to be in that environment because it feels so cool.
No doubt.
With that huge Jumbotron.
It does feel really, really cool. But I'm looking at this deep roster and I'm looking at the win total for the Warriors, right? 52.5, and I'm thinking, they're going to sleepwalk to 55.
Okay, yeah.
They're going to sleepwalk to 55.
You asked Festus. Festus kind of sidekicked it.
Yeah.
I'm with Mully. This is a 60-win team.
Yeah, I mean...
Mully was saying that, like, this is a 60-win team. I mean, obviously things can happen, but, like, if you're asking me to project right now, Joe, put your money on 60 or less than 60. I'm going 60 or over.
I mean, you got to remember the youngsters last year. And Kuminga, Poole, Wiseman obviously wasn't there, but Moses Moody. You had Damian Lee, who's now in Phoenix. They stole the game in San Antonio. They stole the game in Miami. They stole the game in Detroit. These youngsters, and Mully truly believes if you take away Curry, Clay, Draymond, Iguodala, they're the second youngest team in the league, and he believes they still make the playoffs if you take away the core four.
I mean, look at who was a play-in team last night. That was a team that didn't even make the play-in game last night. I believe they'll be a play-in type team, the Lakers. Mm-hmm. You're telling me the youngsters didn't look like they belonged on the court with those guys?
No doubt. No doubt they do. No doubt they do.
I'm with Mully on this one. I'm gonna agree with the Hall of Famer who knows hoops.
And so they're gonna sleepwalk, I believe, into 55 at least. And they won 53 last year, and that was without Steph Curry for 36 games. That was without Draymond Green for 18 games. That was without Klay Thompson until early February. They're going to sleepwalk into 55 wins because of the depth that they have. This is a joke. They're 11 deep. They're 11 deep. And like you said, people are going to be outraged when you see Moody. Man, he only played 7 minutes, 35 seconds. Oh my gosh! Wiseman only played 16 minutes.
Moody didn't come in with the second unit at the beginning of the second quarter. People were losing their minds.
Were they?
Yes.
Of course.
And then he got in there and he hits a three and he makes a layup and everyone's like, "Oh, he needs to play 25 minutes." It's like, guys, you can't have 9 guys playing 25 minutes. It's just not how it works.
Wow.
People are going to lose their minds, but that's a good thing. This is a good thing. People really care about these youngsters. I love this.
Now, hopefully, if they win a championship, now we got a long way to go, but when we say deepest team, best team, this is what Steve Kerr wanted back in 2018. remember talking to him at Media Day of 2018, and he was talking about Jordan Bell and Quinn Cook, and they had Patrick McCaw, Jacob Evans, and this is the vision he had with them. He's saying, look, we're going to lean on our young guys. We don't want to play the Kevin Durant's and Steph Curry's and Draymond's and Clay's for 40 minutes. We don't want to play Iguodala for heavy minutes or Livingston. We're going to lean on the young guys in the regular season. And that plan went right out the window. Whenever they would come into the game at the start of the second quarter, that lead would evaporate.
Would you agree they didn't at that time? I felt like the organization, they said all those things, but I don't think they had the infrastructure in place.
For player development.
And I don't think Kerr was ready to do that. Like, I think Kerr has evolved in terms of how he views it.
He talked about doing that, and I think he wanted to do that. But Jordan Bell and Quinn Cook, and you had Patrick McCaw. Something wasn't there.
I'm not trying to rip
Jordan
him.
Poole had the talent to be a Draymond-like type of guy.
You mean Jordan Bell?
Jordan Bell, not Jordan Poole.
Yes.
Jordan Bell. Jordan Bell could have been Draymond.
His number one problem was maturity.
Maturity and effort.
Self-awareness.
So when they had voluntary practices.
When he threw the ball off the backboard and tried to yam in that game.
Yeah, no doubt. Rick Carlisle was ticked off in Dallas. He was ticked off.
And then there's Candlegate.
Right, there's Candlegate. But Jordan Bell, they would have voluntary practices. And it was voluntary for Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, Draymond Green, Klay Thompson, Andre Iguodala, Sean Livingston. It's not voluntary for Jordan Bell. And he would just skip the practices. And they were like, you have to be here, dude. You haven't made it.
He was making candles down at Mission Dolores.
Or drinking Hennessy.
Or
try to get a one-on-one game with Guru.
Well, Guru better bring the money.
Yeah,
I heard Guru was rocking around Chase Center last night.
He was.
Got in there, huh?
Yeah, he was walking around.
So what happened with that? He was looking for a media credential. He called me in the morning, he was ripping about something, and he said, "Oh, my media credential's not ready." Nobody enjoys a big night and walking around that arena strutting more than Daryl the Guru Johnson.
And outside of you, too.
No, I like to sit in my seats.
Oh, yeah? I'm surprised you didn't go last night.
I enjoyed it from the couch.
All right.
I've got a big week this week, and I've been a little under the weather, and so I decided to, lay low.
Right. That's good. But no, Jordan Poole thought he had
Master
made it.
P.
Lay low. But Steve Kerr wanted that in 2018. To my point, he wanted the youngsters to kind of carry the torch of the regular season and get some of the veterans off. Now, you got a new player development coach, obviously, with Jama Malalea, who's in the second season. And you got this new coaching staff, and now you can lean on the young guys. So this is Steve Kerr's dream in the regular season. This is San Antonio like. When they had all those guys in San Antonio, the Bellinellis of the world, Tiago Splitter.
One of the things I was thinking about last night was like Otto Porter Jr. was so important to what they were doing last year. Everybody could see like he brought a lot to the table. Didn't even think about him once last night.
No.
And I'm not trying to rip Otto Porter Jr. I'm saying
that's how smooth JaMychal Green was.
And just the other youngsters getting more minutes. It felt very natural last night. And they just looked like they're already in regular season form, even though I know the minutes and the rotations and the lineups. It was a little clunky at times. Like, I don't love seeing Kuminga, Draymond, and Wiseman on the floor together. No. That was a little clunky.
No doubt.
But again,
let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Did you miss Gary Payton II last night?
Didn't even think about him. Did you?
It's kind of like watching the 49ers when they don't have Eric Armstead or Javon Kinlaw. You don't even notice the losses.
Look, there will be a time and place where I will think about how you could throw him on a particular perimeter offensive player. And just last night wasn't that night. Because I don't want to dismiss him because he was very important.
The Lakers were that bad, huh? Lakers were that bad.
All I kept thinking about was, my God, this team is going to be the equivalent of the Broncos, where we're going to have them on primetime, standalone games, and I don't want to watch them.
Right, and you see Kenny Atkinson. Yeah, we're not going to want to watch that.
No, I don't want to watch them. They're not a good watch.
They're not a good watch at all. They're going to have me tuning out, too.
Like, it's one thing, like, when Kobe's team was out there, he might choke somebody. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I might see some greatness. LeBron is going to be stat chasing. They were down, I think, 27. And he turned it on.
Oh, he turned it on big time. And the Lakers bench started standing up, clapping. The fake hustle.
It's such fake hustle.
Get out of here. By the way,
he's got a little Kirk Cousins in him. We're down 3 touchdowns. I'll become the most efficient passer on the planet.
They're a tough watch. Kenny Atkinson. I see on the chat here. How happy is Kenny Atkinson? Kenny Atkinson could have had the Charlotte Hornets job. I love, by the way, when Shasky tells a joke and then he looks back for approval. I'm glad you guys laughed. Okay.
Speaking of the Hornets for just a second.
But aren't you? No. Kenny Atkinson is probably like, thank God I didn't take that job.